I am Sarah.
And I'm Chantele here to talk about the finale of Australian Survivor versus the world, the best show on TV, you said.
The best. Oh
It was
my
the best.
God, the
It was
best
great.
season of Survivor I might have ever seen. So excited to talk about this finale with Chantele. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And Chantele, guess what? There were tears. There were tears.
I cried too.
More than once did I tear up in this episode. It was so good.
Was it just a watery eye, or did you have like an actual like a path of a tear?
I don't know if there was an actual path of a tear, but it was definitely a choked up, tear-filled eyes.
I look forward to hearing this moment and you telling it
Yes.
back with such, pain in your heart that I might tear up again.
Yes, wonderful. Well, they get right into it, although I have to say, like, just the whole editing and the whole producing, I feel like Survivor, Australian Survivor just really has it dialed in. So they do give us some like beautiful moments as we're sort of coming into this, but pretty quickly we're going to get to that first immunity, the immunity challenge, which we had seen some previews, but it's pretty big, and Australian Survivor likes to torture their players at this point.
Final Four torture chamber for sure. And I'm not trying to take this away from Parvati at all, but it was favored her body type. Like, she's petite, she has endurance like nobody's business, but like those little pegs that you have to stand on, small feet and less weight, it's just going to be able to endure it a little bit more. But it's still insane that she was able to do it for as long as she did. And I'm impressed even with Luke for being able to last as long as he did. Still a pretty great showing, considering I would have Parvati favored to win over him.
Yeah, I mean, I had Parvati favored to win just from the like preview of like, we're gonna stand and do something for a long time. That's Parvati, hands down. But when Douglas was watching with me, and Douglas doesn't watch a ton of Survivor, he'll watch a little bit, and he had watched a few of these episodes. And so when he first saw it, he was like, there's weights. He's like, this is favoring Luke. They want Luke in. And I was like, I don't know. And then when you see the pegs, you're like, well, that's harder for a man to stand on those pegs. I just thought it was interesting that like we think it's geared towards Parvati, and he thought it was geared towards like a man with like upper body strength. But Parvati has insane upper body strength.
Well, yes, and I would, generally speaking, I would agree with Douglas there, but it's the pegs. The pegs are definitely favored to a smaller foot, smaller stature. That's generally going to be a woman. So yeah.
And I did like they did flashbacks to previous torture challenges at this point, in the one with Haley, which I do think was one of the hardest things I've ever seen.
Which one was that one? Was she coming down on them?
It kept squeezing down throughout the whole challenge. It was insane, and she did it, and I love her so much. But I also love Parvati. And so in this winning moment, I mean, it comes down to Luke and Parvati. Suri did really well, 30 minutes, impressive. Janine hung in there for like close to an hour-ish. But we get it down to Luke and Parvati, and Luke starts to make his noises, which I do appreciate. That's fun. And Parvati just looks like she's not going anywhere.
There was one time she kind of readjusted and it looked a little bit wobbly, actually. But yeah, she was able to regroup and come back strong.
I think that's part of her game, though, is like Luke is clear, like he can't hide it. He's struggling, and I'm sure she's struggling, but she will not show it. That's part of her game. And Luke is like, I can't beat her, right? I think it plays mentally in it.
Yeah, I really wonder. See, that's one of the things that I would be interested in testing myself on a game like Survivor. Like, I don't want to necessarily do the like endurance-y things where you're like running or like you're really like exerting like energy in that way. But to see if I can hold my arm up for 6 hours. Like, could I do that for $1 million? I don't think so. But I would like to be put in the position where I force myself to try. Because $1 million, like, and you really have it, like, you really have that opportunity to potentially win that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe a new gear will be flipped in my brain, and I would love to see how much I could endure for that money in the title.
Yeah, I would like to see that for myself as well. As someone who meditates and like fancies herself as someone who can like go
Lock in.
within and block
Mhm.
other things out, I wonder how long I would last. I just can't imagine it would be that long.
Well, okay, and I totally agree with you. I really think I need to try this. So I need to go on this show.
Yeah.
I need to become a citizen of Australia, so that I
Yeah.
can go on Australian Survivor, and so I can try one of these torture chambers to see if I
Yeah.
can endure it.
I'd
Hmm.
like to see it. Well, Parvati is going to win. Luke is going to eventually fall off his little peg in grueling pain, but he makes it all the way to those small little pegs. And but this is the first time that I got emotional. Is Parvati is emotional, and I was like, she just won the show. I was like, I think this was that. Like I had just like all full body chills. It was so dramatic and beautiful, and I was just so happy for Parvati.
That's not where I got my first tear. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually thinking, like, because how Luke, because he was like pulling the cords or whatever down low, and he was hovered forward, and he completely fell forward on his face. And when she won, like nobody cared that he like fell on his face. They're all hugging Parvati. I felt bad for Will, because I mean for Luke, he was so like in so much pain, and like they're just
Yeah.
congratulating Parvati at that moment. So I was feeling for Luke.
I actually felt for Luke too. I mean, the beginning where they're sort of building up his past with Survivor, like I didn't know him before this, but I really did enjoy watching him. And I felt for him being back in this moment where he had lost it previously. And like I'm rooting for Parvati, but I'm feeling so bad for Luke to lose. And I didn't feel like they didn't care. I felt like they were
Oh, I know.
eyeing like, do we go there? Like, does he need a minute? Because the
It
person who
just looked like
loses,
celebration, hugs, and
yeah,
cheers, and
yeah,
he's like, "Ah," like
yeah,
on the ground. It was just the juxtaposition was
yeah.
very
It's true. But you never know if the person on the ground like needs a minute, right? Like, it's a big loss. But they're all just so lovely in Australia. Like, he gets up and hugs Parvati. Like, everyone is just so lovely.
well, yeah, but they're always like good game. They definitely have
Yeah,
honor is big in their culture.
yeah. So that's it. Parvati has the necklace. Luke feels like he's in the most danger, and we do hear from Parvati and Cerise saying that they'd rather sit by Janine than Luke. And I honestly, I don't know. What did you think about that? Where they really felt like sitting by Janine was okay, but not Luke.
I think Janine, yes, as much as she could speak, and she like is a presence. She's the godmother. Um, I don't think that they felt that she did anything that wowing that Luke didn't do, and then Luke also did some things that were a little bit showmansy in front of the jury. So whether or not like they worked or not, like he just has a little bit more of yeah showmanship that I think that they felt that Luke might be just a little bit harder to beat than Janine, even though Janine is a worthy competitor, absolutely. But I think that they thought it would just be an easier gig, and it's kind of a nice story to have three women at the end too.
Right. Yeah, I get that. But in the moment, I was like, I think they're underestimating Janine. Once we into Final Tribal, I was wrong because Janine didn't even say the things I thought Janine should say. I thought Janine,
Absolutely,
right? I was
that
like,
was the
Janine
Cerie
had
thing. Yeah,
what
go ahead.
exactly? We saw Janine do a couple subtle manipulations to make things go a certain way. So I thought Suri and Parvati were just missing that, and that Janine could walk in and say, actually, no, I led this and I made this, I planted these seeds. But it didn't matter because she ain't going to say it at Final Tribal. So I don't think Janine even knows what she did.
Yeah, I was very surprised by Janine not being able to command her jury speech there. I definitely I agree with you. I thought that she was going to talk about the fact that like hey, like I didn't have the numbers, but I was able to convince Sari to go. Basically, it seems like it was her that got them to turn on Kirby. It was that vote,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like she could have taken credit for that and being like, Kirby, like I'm really sorry, but like I didn't feel like you were on my side anymore, and so I thought it was going to be between me and Luke, and so like I was the one that was able to convince Sari to come and change. Like I thought she would be doing that, and then that would be kind of like appealing to Kirby, being like, wow, like I can't believe that she was the one that convinced them to get them to go after me. And so I thought that she could have gotten some clout there and maybe a vote or two, or at least a conversation about her being in the running.
I think the seeds that she planted that she's going to get questioned about at Final Tribal and she falls apart, those getting the cracks between Sarah and Kirby helped to get them out. And then she also put the cracks between Parvati and Cass, because they were trying World Fives to stay strong, but I give Janine credit for like putting the cracks in there, which led Parvati to come over to Janine. And she didn't say either of those. And even she gets questioned about the whole Kirby Sarah thing, and she can't even own it. She can't even say, yeah, I got you out, Kirby. I did that.
Yeah, how would she actually have said it? Because she really would just was like, and what did Sarah keep on saying?
But not now, though.
But not now, though.
Or we're not then, though. Not then, though.
I was like,
which I'd be like, you don't get to tell me timing. I'll tell you timing, is what I would have said. But yeah, I would have said, yeah, you guys were working together. Y'all were a powerhouse. So as soon as other people came into the mix, I wanted to make sure
to get some numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kirby and Parvati were so strong together that all I had to do was point out Kirby's already gotten rid of 2 of her number ones, and boom, Kirby's out, voted out by Parvati, who was working with her. Like that, I give Janine partial credit for that. And she didn't say it.
Yeah, she definitely was a little bit of a deer in the headlights with
because she came in with like, I'm loyal and Aussie strong. And it's like, oh, well, if you're gonna say that,
you better never have voted out an Aussie.
Yeah. Be like, I was only Aussie strong at the end, guys, because you guys weren't playing with me. Make it up. Twist the words a little bit. But no, she couldn't do it. But in this moment, Sari and Parvati are really trying to work Janine to make it an all-women final 3. Don't go to fire. I mean, I think that is Parvati's biggest fear. Like, put Sri in fire. I'm worried I'm going to have to sit next to 2 Aussies. And that was my fear. Put 2 Aussies in. One of those Aussies is going to win.
But then there's also potentially less like Aussie votes for another Aussie. So it could go either way. But I definitely would be afraid, though, to sit beside both of them.
So going into this tribal, I thought Janine was going to go with the ladies. Maybe that was just me being manipulated by the editing.
I didn't personally. I knew like Sari was like, I think we got her, and like they're like, yeah, I think we're gonna do it. I think it's gonna be us 3 women at the end. But I was like, no, I don't think so. I think because she has been still saying the Aussie strong thing. Yeah. That like, even though we know that she's been deceitful to other Australians, I feel as though that's what she was going to hang her hat on, which she tried to. And so I thought that she was going to honor her agreement that she made with Luke when she gave him the necklace, when he gave her the necklace. And I think that was going to be something that she was going to be like, look at how, like, it was probably against my better interest to go to the end with Luke, but that's because I wanted to be there with him. My word means something. Like, I think she wanted to have that as like further proof that she's loyal or whatever.
Yeah. And that's fair. I mean, showing Australia who's watching the show that you, especially if you own a lot of businesses in Australia, show them that you are Australia strong, that you want to support your fellow Australians. And he did give her the necklace. I would have a hard time going against somebody who gave me the necklace.
And he is the national treasure of Australia. So as a business owner, to go against somebody in that fashion, like, it could have like catastrophic blowback in the real world. So she might have been thinking business minded there too.
And as she should, okay? Because I felt like she probably had, not as good odds to win up against, Parvati and Luke, right? So like, go with your business. Go with just the best look there. So, but we're going to get to this tribal. And even though I think we're going to sit 3 women in the end here, I was snowed. The votes show that we are instead going to go to fire. And I'm like, oh no.
I was
Not
like,
fire.
I just felt as though Luke was going to be there in the end. Like I just.
Yeah.
So as much as I love Suri, she didn't have a good showing with fire when she was doing it against Sarah a couple episodes ago.
Right.
And so I was already like, damn, she's not even going to make it to the final tribal. That sucks.
I know. And then when fires, I was like, oh my God, I pictured Serena. Like I bought into the narrative. I'm picturing the 3 of them, the 2 of them together, final 3. And they start the fire. And I'm like, oh no, we're going to lose Serena. And then she starts to get fire. Like this was tense. And we have 2 fires going. And I was like, oh my God, Serena's going to beat him in fire. Then she did not beat him at fire.
Oh, I was like, why? Why couldn't that flame just go straight up? Like she had a pretty big flame, and it probably would have broken that wick in like 2 seconds later. Oh, but yeah, it was really as much as I think that Luke is somebody that's worthy to be sitting in the final 3, and I really wanted it for Suri. But you know what, though? She would have lost, likely. So maybe this is giving her another opportunity to actually get to the final 3 or
win.
2, whatever, and win. Because I don't think she would have won if in any combination of these final 3.
Agreed. I didn't think she was going to win. But this would be the second time that I got teared up because this is our beautiful Suri, who we all love, getting her torch snuffed and leaving, and Parvati's emotional and she's emotional. And I just, I love her. I love that they got to play together, and she didn't make it to that final once again. Did not make it to that final.
Once again. Oh, but I think it's nice to know that her story doesn't end here.
Right.
That she's going to be on season 50.
I mean, I can't believe she's still like a 6th time. This is insane.
6 times is insane, but I really, really do think that she probably picked up a lot of knowledge and information on this season. Like, firstly, playing with Parvati, playing with all these huge players that took big swings all the time. And so I think we might see a different game style out of Suri. And I would love for it to be a winning game style. Like, that would be really, really
She's
cool.
gonna rock that fire.
I know.
And she's gonna in the
beat final 4
fire. Yeah, she's gonna beat someone.
She can't do it. Yeah,
at fire because she rocks that fire. It's gonna be amazing. Jonathan snuffed Suri's torch as his last one. Maybe he might come back, but that is pretty amazing for him.
This network,
he was actually in LA at a watch party last night.
I saw he was standing beside Parvati.
I almost went.
Why almost?
Well, because I was traveling yesterday and I just ended up being tired and didn't go. But I was like, what? Jonathan was there? That'd have been fun.
You should have just sucked it up and went.
Girl, I'm not an Aquarius. I don't do that.
Is that an Aquarius thing? Suck it up and go?
Yeah.
Pull through? Do we pull through? I mean, all the ones I know, we do pull through. And we're
to a social event, I would say.
Yeah.
Not to everything, but to a group event, Aquarius will be there.
You're right.
Love it. You guys love a group event.
But we don't necessarily love expelling a lot of bandwidth talking to a lot of people.
That's true.
It's funny.
You'll pick who you want to talk to. That's true. All right. This puts Suri on the jury, which isn't horrible because that is a vote for Parvati. And we've got 2 Australians, Luke and Janine, going against Parvati in final tribal.
Do you know what somebody said on Twitter? I think it was Twitter or Blue Sky. That isn't it fitting that for Jonathan's last tribal council, likely the initials are Janine J, Luke L, and P for Parvati. So his initials were the final 3. I thought that was very auspicious.
Isn't that wild?
Oh, someone also wrote that here. I didn't see that.
It's been going all over social media. I think that is pretty wild.
I think it's very
What
cool.
are the odds?
0.
I mean, I don't think anyone knew at this time that it was his last one, right?
Nope.
At the
Well,
at
they
the
didn't
time
even
of
put that
filming.
connection together, or even any spoiler people or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
Very
those were
cool, very cool. So our JLP are at the final tribal here. And they start out with a nice little speech from Janine, Aussie strong, go buy some juice. And then Luke is ups it a little bit. He's like, I'm a great player. Here I am.
When he
But
was
then,
telling his story about like in casting and stuff like that, it could have been really compelling, but he didn't nail the landing there for that story. Because like I was like, oh my god, and you're saying that like I'm gonna be the best player that everybody's ever seen. And then he just like, I don't even remember what he said, but it was just like,
and he's like, and so here I am. And I was like, well, it wasn't.
yeah, you didn't make that swell. There's no crescendo there. There's no. Like, yeah. But I thought I'd start off, I was like, ooh, this is like a good like storytelling to bring people in and how important this is to you. And like, yeah, like he definitely had the pieces of making a compelling speech, but I don't think it was his forte knowing how to craft a jury speech. He's never been there before,
it's not. But it was very, it was very representative of him. Like he is a fun personality. He's a little all over the place. He was never fully in charge of this game. And like, I felt like that did come across in his speech. He was fun. He had little pieces, a little all over the place, but he never really like had a compelling, like, you just telling me that you're the greatest player doesn't actually make me think, oh yeah, let me vote for you to be the greatest player.
No, he's a Libra.
Yeah.
So like I would.
So you want him to be better with his words?
Yeah. Yeah. Like getting justice for himself.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah. Let's see. His maybe his Mercury is in the 12th house or in detriment. Something is affecting that Libra sun, because that Libra sun should be able to tell a tale.
Absolutely.
Weave a story. He was on Traders, right? So I need to go watch his Traders season.
I mean, you really have to. Can you please just binge the whole thing? Because
I will binge it.
It's definitely one that you need to binge like right now.
Okay, will do. I've got like 2 weeks before my show start up. I'll binge it real quick. But then Parvati's just gonna come in and lay it down. Like, we knew she had like dominated this whole game. Like, it's gonna be hard to beat her speech. Although, let's talk about how we thought it was gonna go at this point before we're like really into Final Tribal. How did you think the votes were gonna go?
Well, okay, so the question that Cass asked is usually a question that I've asked whenever I've played these social strategy games. I think JoJo was the one that came up with it. And it's like, oh, who do you think you get your votes from and why? Which I think is an excellent jury question. It shows how, the final 3 or 2, whatever, how they perceive the jury and whether they're accurate or not into their assessment. So I thought it was a really great question from Cass. And I agree with the people that she thought she would get their votes. Obviously, she's going to get friggin' Cerie's vote. I did think that she was going to have the respect from Cass and being able to get her out and like kind of going back to back physically again Cass. So I think that Cass was going to respect her game, also playing with her from the whole season. Lisa, I wasn't sure, but I felt that Lisa would likely do similarly to what Cirie was doing. And so likely to maybe get her vote there. And then I also thought that Kirby didn't want to maybe break that love tie necessarily. She got done dirty by Parvati, but doesn't mean that she wants their friendship to be completely severed and over. And so I thought that Kirby might still want to give her that vote. Who else is left? Tommy, I wasn't sure. With Tommy's questions is like, Did you want to play with her, Tommy? Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really see Tommy's game, and so I wasn't sure where he stood.
Shawnee?
Shawnee, I thought that she would vote for Parvati because I think that uh, Parvati was probably someone that she's seen her game in the past and just like, wanting to work with and vote for a legend in the game that probably inspired her to play. So I thought she'd get Shawnee's vote. I thought she'd get all the women.
Interesting.
You didn't?
Well, I was really feeling like, okay, Parvati's got this. Parvati's got it in the bag. And then when Luke and Suri were doing fire, the jury was like really rooting for Luke. They were like, come on, Luke, you've got it. You've got it. And then they like, when it died down, they were like, oh God, oh God. And I was like, oh no, I underestimated Luke. He is a national treasure in Australia. They want to vote for him. So once I knew Luke was there, before I hear what they're going to say, I was like, okay, it's 4-3. Actually, Aussies have the minority in jury. It is 4 world, 3 Australians. So I was like, I think Luke will get the 3 Australians, but I don't know that Tommy's going to vote for Parvati. I never felt like Tommy was a given to vote for Parvati. So I was like, I thought it was going to be a 3-4 split. And I just wasn't sure if Parvati was going to get that 4th one or if it was going to go to Luke. So once I then started listening to them talking,
yes,
I still felt like I was like, yeah, I don't think Shawnee's going to vote for Parvati. She really seemed like leaning towards Australia. I was like, but I do think Kirby's there with Parv. I was like, so she's not voting Luke. Like, so I was just trying to feel it out, but I still felt like it was going to be probably 3-4. I had no idea it was going to be like almost unanimous.
So I do agree with you that when the whole fire situation was happening and they're really, really cheering on Luke, I agree that like at that point I was like, oh my God, if he wins, he might be able to take this. But as soon as the jury questioning start coming out, it seemed like a lot of the questions were giving Parvati the opportunity to show how well she played the game. They were just very kind with the way that they were approaching her questions and like kind of lobbing her like, hey, here, let me give you a good one so that you can look amazing in front of this jury. And so as soon as those questions were coming out, and then both Janine and Luke were flopping on their responses to their questions, I was like, there's no way that this jury was going to award anybody else but Parvati. But I do agree with you. Before going into it, I was like worried that Luke might be favored.
That's interesting. I did not have that much confidence, but I did think that Parvati nailed it. I mean, especially when Cass starts talking about that wild tribal and Parvati reveals that she couldn't even use that advantage, that she gave hard of it. Cass was like, ugh. And she was like replaying how she got played in that moment. And like, that was huge. I was like, well, she's got Cass now. Like Cass definitely has been pulled over. But yeah, Shawnee, I thought Shawnee would be like, I don't care about Parvati. But I'm so grateful that they did award game, because when Parvati dropped the bomb at the end there, where she was like, not one time was my name written down, and I either ran the vote or knew what the vote was going to be every single vote. I'm like, how do you not award this?
Well, especially like with Luke was on the wrong side of the vote majority of the time.
The majority.
Right? And like what he got the last maybe 2 votes correct?
Yeah.
Maybe? And it was only when Parvati decides to like go that direction. So I definitely think that this tribal council favored heavily Parvati. She's Sean. She definitely, and she got some tears out of me when you see Suri talking about her being her survivor's soulmate and like, just playing this game with her and how like they're just like these kismet spirits which is true. They did find each other in Survivor. And I always think it's so cool when people meet in just these extraordinary circumstances. I do think that they're part of a soul family, and I don't know, I thought it was really cool that they recognized it.
I mean, it's such a hard game, and it's full of lies and manipulation, and you never know who you can trust. So to be able to just like almost relax into someone with such absolute, you
Faith
know,
and
connection. Yeah, there is something way deeper there. And yeah, what I just felt like so much beauty out of this whole experience. Like the two of them having this time together is beautiful. Us being able to witness it, literally, what a gift. Like, what a time to be alive is so true for this season. Like, for free. I didn't have to pay for anything. They just gave me the gift of this season, and watching these two get some sort of like karmic, like cycle in
completion.
their
Yeah.
life, like coming back to that. They kept saying full circle, and I'm like, it really is some sort of like just
Like
journey to bring
what,
this all
19
together.
years?
They
That's
kept saying 20, but yeah,
it's close to
I did.
20, but
I
what is
didn't do the math.
2006? So
Okay.
it's 19 and a half, maybe. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe they filmed it 20 years ago, actually,
Yeah,
and then it
probably.
aired in 19 or whatever.
Yeah.
But regardless,
One vote
we'll
away from
round
a
up.
perfect game. And they kept saying the best player ever. Like this was going to be like whoever wins this is the best player of all time. And I'm like, I'll take it, but I think there's a few people who are going to be like, I didn't even
Short
play.
season, la la la. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
love though.
Sandra will be like, no, I won twice and I didn't even play this, so you can't be better than me.
But she's played Australian Survivor and didn't do too well. So, but no, it's definitely a different gift, different game. I love those three saying like I voted for the best player of Survivor, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was.
I
That
trust
was
your
great.
opinion. I trust it.
Yeah, right?
And I think a lot of it for me, and it's probably for Suri as well, is like she does have those instincts. And she probably was mentioning this in her speeches, is that like I just knew, I had this feeling, I could just tell, I just like, and she was pointing out when
Yeah.
she wasn't being duped by whatever shenanigans were happening. And I think that that also made people like kind of enamored by her gameplay, because it's like, wow, how did she know that? Like, and yeah, that makes her one of the best for sure, is being able to know what's happening and how to handle it.
Yeah, exactly. How to handle it, how to just to know what to trust. Because you can't trust anything really in the game. So like everything's chaos. You know something's off. What's the path to go? Like absolutely wild to watch such dominating gameplay, and it's rewarded, and it's Parvati, and she's retired, and she's gonna go out on top, and I just love it.
How
And
much money
thank you.
did they get?
I don't know. I have no
250?
idea how much they won. How much did they win? Ellen, what do they win here? Yeah, and if this is JLP's last season, you went out on top too, sir. They did you dirty. You went out on top. All those people loved you. We loved you. Thanks for coming to LA because we love you. Stay here. Get a job out here.
And like,
Screw
what
Australia.
final threes letter is going to be? D, G, or is it a final two? Who? Nobody. So yeah.
250,000. Okay.
But it's Aussie, so it's like less than Canadian. Like 180.
Chantele, thank you so much for covering this with me. My gosh.
It's my pleasure, my treat. Like
Such a
I'm
pleasure.
so lucky.
Such a pleasure to cover this with you. I had so much fun. I'm so glad people were joining and watching along. I know sometimes it was hard to find episodes, but they were out there. So now, you know, we all get to celebrate. We've got a couple weeks before Survivor 49 starts. We also have Amazing Race coming up. And then obviously next year we have 50, which I'm sorry. Is 50 even going to hold a candle to this? Like,
I don't trust CBS. Sorry.
Like, I'm
And
sure
people
I'll
know
enjoy
why
50.
I don't trust CBS. If you know, you know.
I'm sure I have high hopes 50 is going to be a fun ride, but like nothing tops what we just watched.
And it's not like they can even draw from it, so because it's already like recorded, so it's like
Nope. Produced and done. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I'm also going to cover this Amazing Race season. I'm probably going to do it with Jonathan, which will be kind of fun.
Yes, because
Haven't
you know
covered
these big brother players.
exactly. So it's just like the fact that it's a crossover. I love Amazing Race in general, but I don't always cover it. But I think this one will be a fun one to cover. And I also saw that Traders Canada starts in end of October. So
Oh,
we'll see maybe if I get some exit interviews for that as well, and I'll likely be
fun.
covering it also. Just saying.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, if for some reason someone is not subscribed to you, please go to Reality Realness and make sure you're getting all the notifications from Chantele. But I know everybody is already subscribed to you. Chantele will obviously be talking astrology with me. We've got a Survivor 49 cast to go through astrologically. And
at least they made it a lot easier that they have their birth, like we know what signs they are. I haven't looked on the wiki yet to see if it's their full birthday, so we can actually pull up their chart. But like, I feel like we are being heard in that regard, right?
Absolutely. I was very excited about that. I will obviously double check because I don't trust that they're 100% correct.
For sure.
But if they are correct, it is mostly air signs again. Yeah, we will dive in and look at that. I just wrote down all of their birthdays, but I haven't run any charts yet. So, but we got Aquarius and Sagittarius on the cast. So,
and are they on the same tribe? Are they going to be the besties of the besties?
I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know about that.
Aquarius and Sag are such good combos, or Libra and Sag.
Oh my God. Yes.
So good.
So good. Gemini and Sag, Aquarius and Sag. That's my fave.
I mean,
those are the people I really have fun with. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for us for tonight. And what are you doing with Big Brother right now on
Thursday morning? I'll be doing the live feed update. You could probably catch it up. They're probably still live right now on the main channel doing the slop, but beforehand from 5 to 6 we did a memorial service for Rachel Riley. So I guess it's kind of like, anyways.
Spoilers.
Sorry. I don't know.
I think we're ready.
I mean, nobody cares.
I don't even watch the show, and I knew she was off. So
okay, I'm sorry if I ended up spoiling you, but we did just do like a live podcast.
Yes.
You know what? It serves CBS right that if like I spoil some people on this terrible news, right? So yeah, if you want to go check that out, a bunch of us came and popped on and just talked about, we let out our grievances and frustrations about how the season was going, what has happened to Rachel and what are our thoughts on the future of the season, or the show.
Yeah.
So
all right, guys, we'll see ya next time.